Welcome, colleagues. Thank you for joining me for another how-to lesson with Canvas. With this video, I will show you how to create and update courses in Canvas. I'm going to show you three situations. You might have a course or a class that is district created. That's one. You can create your own course, or you can use your free Canvas course. It will be very similar to create your own course. So it will work for any of those situations. In addition, you might be also a student in those classes, so not just being the teacher. So let's get started. Once you log in, you're probably going to be at the dashboard. This is my browser. Depending of how big the browser is, your courses could be looking down like that, or they could have, and there could be some notes on this side. Keep in mind that I have 8 published courses, but I only see 2 at a time right now, but that means I need to scroll down. If you do not see some kind of notes over here, again, based on your browser or your window size, that they might be on the bottom, all the notes. Some courses, before you even go in, they do look like Google Classroom, almost the little squares, right? So there's some shortcuts to visit right away. So if you are on the dashboard and you want to start a brand new class, you are the one that wants to create, not the district, you would press this button, start a new course. If you do not see the button here, scroll down and you might see it. The class you see here is a class that was created by the district, and I know that by little codes they gave me, that means they put the students for me inside, but I also created a class myself. Think of a class that could be like a blueprint for things that you could be reusing over and over. So right now this is an example of 2 different classes, one with the district created with the students and one that I created. I could put students later if I wanted, and I have a few more. Also, if you do not see any courses on dashboard, we're going to have to click on courses first, and then we're going to make those favorites. So the ones that are showing up on your dashboard are actually courses that you have made favorites. Let's see how that will play out. So as soon as you click on courses, you will see a lot of courses. I collaborate with some teachers, so you might see some other teachers' names. There's some that I have unpublished. That means I'm done with it or I concluded them. And then if I want to see all of my courses, past courses, then I would click there as well. So some of the courses that I don't see in the dashboard, I need to make them actually favorite, like I said earlier. So let's try to do that on our own. So pick a class, or let's just visit all courses first to see if you actually have any courses. So after clicking on all courses, notice there is a add a new course. That means you can start a brand new course. And notice how there are stars. The ones that are filled in, that means they are on my dashboard. So those are favorites. And these are not on my dashboard. It also tells you what kind of role you're in, and then whether it's published or not. And you could basically browse. So pick the one. If you have not created one, you would start with a new course. And if you want to make it favorite, just simply click on the star and it will go on the dashboard. One thing to keep in mind, if you see any of those 3 dots, that means there's extra settings, extra things going on. For example, for the dashboard 3 dots, it gives me a different view look so that you can, what your preference is. I like the card view, but if you want to list, you'll get more courses. You might be able to see all of them at once. So let's start by creating a new course. So find that button called Start a New Course, whether you're on the dashboard or under Courses. As soon as you start with the new course, you will have a pop-up window. So you would write the name of the course you'd like, and then it's really up to you. I prefer my content to be private, and then click on Create Course. Keep in mind, if the course you are the one creating the course, there will not be any students in, so I will show you how you can add students. This will be true for the free account with Canvas as well. If the district gave you the course, then you would have the students in, but you still want to set up and know what to do, and that's what I'm going to show you next. So let's start with a new course, and I just put a name. Sometimes I like to even put the year, because every year, we have new courses, so I know which one to use. And later on, I'll show you in other videos of how to take one content from one course to the other, so do not worry about that. So this is where I'm now. As soon as you put create, you would have the name, and looks like it recommends for me to start with modules. That's another video that I'm going to explain about modules. However, notice that I'm under courses and it's already going into home. So looking and reading on top, you would know where you are in which course you have entered. If you do not see anything here on the side, you need to scroll down. There's more options, and that's exactly what I want you to do. So you might see them already. It's based off the screen size that you use. So as I was scrolling down, I noticed that the course status is unpublished. And if I click here, it will become green and publish. There's also other options that I was talking about. And one of the things you need to know is that button student view. So you always want to be like checking to see what is the student going to look. Notice this is all those links for me and for you. Some of them might be different, especially the ones on the end, but for the most part in the beginning, they will be the same. So what I want to direct you is under the settings, and usually it's the last button when you go to each of the course. So let's click on settings. We can publish the course later. Right now, if it stays unpublished, we can still work on it, but the students are not going to be able to see anything. So the first thing I want us to do again is settings. All those links and buttons we want to hide from the students. So I have already clicked on the settings, and if you always look up, you would see the name of the course and where you have clicked last, and that's how I know. Now there's more tabs, as you can see on top, but we're going to stay in course details, and then it's very important for us to go later to navigation and clean up all those links or buttons for the students not to be visible. The other thing I want you to know, if it was a district, the sections will have different type of periods. So if you teach the same course but 3 different periods, you will see those classes from the district under the section. So you don't have to create all 3 classes separately. So notice that you could choose an image, and that's how you saw some of my customs. You can change the name here if you change your mind. The course code is what you would see on top. So these two are related. And if you scroll down a little more, you could see other options. Some of them I would leave default. You could leave it either blank or you can enter. So these are buttons that you do want to be looking into. But I wanted to show you right now of how. So scroll all the way down, and you just scroll a little more so you guys can see. Basically, to invite your students or to get a code similar to Google Classroom, you're going to go to more options. Click on more options, and then what you want to do is find a button that lets the students self-enroll or let students with a code. So right here, that first one, click on it. It says let students self-enroll by sharing with the URL or code. So you could do both. And then that URL website link could be on your teacher website at school for kids to access, or you give the URL and then the code. So it's going to show us in a moment that. So anything we do in here, notice it's not going to change until we update. So if you did the picture and everything else, but you forget to click this button, then it's not gonna be, it's not gonna save. So let's make sure that we are updating. As soon as you update and you scroll down, then you will see that code. So the website is what I was talking about. So direct link will self-enroll the students if it's a new course, it's not a district course, or with this link specifically, it's going to generate for you, and it's going to give a code for the students to enter. Again, student view and other things are on the bottom, for you might be here on the side of the browser. Now, if we click on sections, it only has one section because I just created it. And once again, it will have your periods if it was a district. So I would just leave it like that. And let's now go to navigation. So click on navigation. And the important part right now is see how I can drag things, so you can reorder things and you could hide them from students. So drag and drop items to reorder them in the course navigation. So if you do that, but then you do not save, it's not gonna change. So trust me, I've done it multiple times. So it's okay to make mistakes. So right now decide of which buttons you would drag literally underneath. I don't want them to have Newsela, then I'll put them because I teach math, Office 365. So some of these are links for me to get directly. So I'm basically dragging. Anything that you don't know what it is, I would suggest for you to be dragging. Parent link is for teachers. If you consider using chat, then you could leave it. Think of a chat is everybody's going to be able to see what it's being chatted about. So I usually open chat a little later. I'm not taking attendance. If you are going to create conferences, it's like your own Zoom inside Canvas. It does have a free option, or if the district paid for it. So you could leave it, but for now, basically anything that you're not going to use in the beginning, I would suggest to hide away. Kids do not need to have files. We can give them people. They don't need to see who is on the class. So I would suggest to leave modules, and we can make the home page to be the modules. Announcement is good to have. The assignment, I'm actually going to hide from them. And I'll talk about more assignments in other videos. So I recommend to leave modules, announcements, and discussion. And if you are going to be grading, leave grades there. Quizzes, I'm going to hide because I'm going to add the quizzes into modules whenever I really want them to take, same as assignments. Pages, you have to decide. Again, you need to have a little more knowledge. Right now, I'm going to be hiding it. And I think I'm happy with that. And again, I have to press save. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. So now if we go under settings, which we are, and let's find student view page. Oops. Settings, of course, details. So it might be on the bottom if you don't see it on top. So look at the top corner, right corner first. And if you don't see it on the top, it will be on the bottom. I pressed on student view. So right now you could see that the students will have home, discussions, grades, and syllabus. So I did leave modules, right? Remember that? But we never created one. So that's why module is not appearing yet, because we didn't even create a module. Later it will show up. But you can see all the other navigation buttons are hidden for the students. So as a student, as a teacher, you're making very easy navigation for your students, basically. So they're not going to be confused. I promise you that. At this time, also, you should know that there's like a different color, so we know how to exit. So if I want to go back to the teacher mode, because I can't do anything, I can't edit, I have to go back to the teacher mode just by pressing leave student view. Now, I showed you earlier how you can invite your students with a code or with a specific link, but if you go to people once, like click on people and you will see the students going in here, or you could click here and say just students, just observers. In this case, it's just me. I just created and what's going on. So people is a good button to know, and you could basically invite your students, but you do need to know their email. So that's the other way of adding students if you are creating and starting a new course from scratch. I think that's all for this video. It did get a little longer, but I hope that you are now comfortable creating a course and basically hiding all those buttons from the students. And I hope you join me soon for another video.